Welcome back to another Pokemon Throwback Thursday, where every Thursday morning we take a deep dive into a new set. We're going in complete order, so the set we're checking out today is Sun and Moon Unbroken Bonds, and we do have to do a little giveaway today. All you have to do is make sure you're subscribed. You have to hit that notification bell, you got to hit that like, and then you have to answer the question of the day. If there is a huge battle with every single water Pokemon, which Pokemon would come out on top? This is what we're giving away today. We got a Pikachu World Championship card, we got a Shadowless Dugong, and we got a illustration rare of Larvitar. And I do have to announce the winner from last year's giveaway, and that is at Josh Peters. So shoot me an email or hit me up on Instagram. I'll get those cards sent out to you. We do have to give a big thanks to our video sponsor real quick, and that is Collectr. This app is the best of the best when it comes to tracking your collection. No other app even compares. I have tried every single one of them. Shiny, rare candy, I've tried them all. These guys are always trying to improve by adding new cards, boxes, and features. Let us know down below if there's anything you want them to add or fix. They just added the new feature called the Trade Analyzer, so you guys can make sure you're getting good deals on your trades. And they also do more giveaways than anyone in this entire hobby, especially if you sign up for their pro membership, which gives you a ton of more benefits. So definitely check them out. I'll have all the links in the description. Then, of course, if you're going to grade through PSA for your very first time, you can click my link in the description. Use code BEARD25. You receive $25 off your very first submission, which is basically a free graded card, and I highly recommend grading yourself instead of letting people like GameStop handle your cards. But all right, checking out Unbroken Bonds. This set came out May 2nd of 2019. Total set value is $3,458. This is the set symbol right here. Looks like a little flame. There's 20 secret rares, and there's 390 total cards if you include secret rares. So again, another beautiful tag team alternate art set with the best rainbows in the world. The only complaint I have, like compared to like a newer set that we have, is just a few more alternate arts. And I think these sets would absolutely destroy pretty much every set. But our big boy, we got the Gardevoir and Sylveon tag team alternate art in one card. Ross says 525. We got the Greninja and Zoroark 280. The Marshadow and Machamp 227. And then the Rainbow, Reshiram, and Charizard GX, 195. The Gardevoir and Sylveon GX Rainbow, 129. And in my opinion, they got some of the best trainers too. They got the Reds Challenge at 107. The Greens Exploration at 103. Very nice Muck and Alolan Muck GX Tag Team at 102. We got a Rainbow Blastoise at 96. We got the Buzzwole Alt Art at 85. We even got the Full Art Gardevoir and Sylveon at 85. And the Full Art Reshiram and Charizard at 83. So even the Full Arts are worth a ton. And yes, they do have a regular Hollow Snorlax that is worth like $50. But when you look at it, you totally get why. That's probably the cutest Snorlax we've ever gotten, and the Pikachu faces behind it is adorable. So yeah, definitely a crazy set. I mean, even if you scroll down a little bit, the trainers are just crazy, and the non-textured alternate arts are super, super nice. We got a Lucario and Melmetal in here too. So the set is stacked for sure. All right, starting off, we got the non-textured Reshiram and Charizard GX tag team. This has a pop of 9,900 and a 10, 4,800 and a 9. This was at $300. Now that sold $177, $190, $187, and it's about a $30 raw card. Next, we have the Full Art Reshiram and Charizard GX tag team. This has a pop of 1,455 and a 10, 1,200 and a 9. Last sold raw $47, $65, $95. We got a PSA 9 at $130 and a 10 at $300. Next, we have the exact same art, but the rainbow version. It has a pop of 1,600 and a 10, 1,500 and a 9. Last sold raw 80, 144. We got a PSA 9 at 173 and a PSA 10 at 465. Before that was 550, 489. Looks like the high was $700 in September. And then we have the Full Art Reds Challenge. This has a pop of 995 and a 10, 827 and a 9. This was at 375. Now last sold 300 and 310. And then raw, right around $100. Next, we got the Greens Exploration. It says a pop of 1,000 in a 10 and 862 in a 9. Last sold in a 10, 257. Had a high at about 325. We had another PSA 10 sale at 205 and 288. Next, we have the Muck and Alolan Muck tag team. Such a cool card. Last sold in a 10, 299 and 260 before that. Raw, 125, 90, 80. And this was all the way up at $535 in August. Next, we got the Rainbow Blastoise GX. This is a pop of 715 in a 10, 625 in a 9. Last sold in a 10, 375, 266. We got a 9 and 81 and 73. Next, we have the Rainbow Gardevoir and Sylveon tag team. It says a pop of 484 in a 10, 416 in a 9. Last sold in a 10, 400, 350. We got a PSA 9 at 199 and 147. Next, we have the Marshadow and Machamp Tag Team Alternate Art. This was all the way up about $760. Has a pop of 1,272 in a 10, 893 in a 9. Last sold in a 10, 485 and 535. Next, we have the Greninja and Zoroark GX Tag Team Alternate Art. This was at $1,500 in a PSA 10. Now, last sold $826. Wow, that's basically cut in half. That is actually insane. Next, we have the big one, the Gardevoir and Sylveon Tag Team. Similar pop, 1,600 in a 10, 1,200 in a 9. And this was at $1,815. Now last sold $1,650, $1,400, and $1,545. So still holding super strong. Next, we have the Unbroken Bonds Booster Pack. This was at $57 3 months ago. 6 months ago, it was at $48. 1 year ago, it was at $28. Now last sold $56, $56, $57, $65. So basically doubled in 1 year, which is very, very good for Pokemon. Next, we have the Unbroken Bonds ETB. Last sold $1,775, $1,750, $1,499, $1,525, $1,364. Really, really depends on condition for these ETBs, because just a little dent, when we're talking, expensive ETBs, can drop the box hundreds of dollars. And the booster box. Last sold $2,250, $2,300, $2,160, $2,600. And if we check, we go back like a year. This booster box was $961, and on TCG Player it was $775 1 year ago. So again, doubled. All right, jump into some Squirtles. So there's not as many Squirtle cards as there is Charmander cards, and I think we're going to do Bulbasaur next week, and then we'll do some other Pokemon, and then we'll come back and do the middle evolutions, Charmeleon and stuff, give those guys some love. But all right, let's check out some of these cheaper ones here. There's a ton of them. So the Pokemon Go one is pretty cute, I must admit, especially the 151. I also like that one, but there is a expensive version of that, which we will be checking. The Unbroken Bonds, I love the Squirtle cards and like the Blastoise cards where they're actually in the water, especially when they're like half in the water, half not. Another really nice promo that I feel like people might want to stock up on is this Scarlet and Violet Cosmos Foil Squirtle. That thing is super crazy. The team-up Squirtle's adorable. The other team-up one where he's taking a nap is super cute. Of course, we're going to be checking all the vintage ones, like the Team Rocket base set and stuff. But it's wild how many different cheap Squirtles there is. And then we got the 25th anniversary here from McDonald's. That was pretty cute. The Boundaries Crossed one where he's on his back, giving everybody a nice little wink. Pretty dang adorable. All right, let's get into it. So we do have a brand new Squirtle card that is coming out for the 30th anniversary. Super adorable. Definitely one of the best Squirtle cards we have ever gotten. And I think it goes so good with our other two Squirtles because we got, Squirtle for 151 where he's actually, out in the water. And then we got the Squirtle inside with some Pidgeys. So I think it's the perfect, third Squirtle illustration rare that we got. So yeah, that comes out very, very soon. Next, we have the 151 Squirtle. Says a pop of 8,600 in the 10, 16,000 in the 9. These cards are not easy to grade. This was at 343 in the 10. Dropped down to 250. And now last sold 325. We got a PSA 9 at 60. And raw 65, 55, 72. Next, we have the Stellar Crown Squirtle. This got up to 337 in the 10. Dropped down to 245. And just coming back a little bit. Last sold 280, 260. And this has a pop of 13,000 in the 10, 17,000 in the 9. Next, here is that Scarlet and Violet Squirtle promo. This is the Pokemon Center one. I think you got this when you ordered it with the 151 UPC, I believe. This was at $500 in a PSA 10. Dropped down to like $250. Now that's sold $375 and $320. We got a PSA 9 at $145, $134. And raw, this card is like $70 to $100 if you actually want it. Really nice. Next, we have the Pokemon Go Black Star Promo Squirtle. Says a pop of 27 in a 10, 161 in a 9. Last sold raw, like $5 to $15. And we got a PSA 10 sale on eBay at $100. Next, we have the Crystal Guardians. This is the Reverse Hollow Squirtle. Love this thing. This is a pop of 27 in a 10, 163 in a 9. Last sold raw, 56, 104 for near mint. We got a PSA 9 at $400 and $450. And we do have a PSA 10 sale here at $2,085. The sale before that, which was exactly a year before that sale, in 2024 was for $450. These cards do not sell very often. Next, we have another Squirtle from Crystal Guardians. This has a pop of 48 in a 10, 196 in a 9. Last sold raw, 15, 13, 12. We got a PSA 9 at $25. And we do have a PSA 10 here at 1,175, which was last month. Next, we have the Build-A-Bear Squirtle. Couldn't really find any PSA 10 info on this. There's the last sale on eBay, which was 152. Then raw, 20, 20, 15. PSA 9 at 45. But I think it'd actually be a cool little collection if you got each one of these Build-A-Bear Workshop Pokemon. I think that'd be pretty cute. Next, we have the Pop Series 4 Squirtle. Last sold raw, 28, 29, 38. We got a PSA 9 at $66. And we do have a PSA 10 sale here at $405. Another one that does not pop up very often. Next, one of my favorite Squirtles on the entire list. This is the Fire Red and Leaf Green Squirtle Reverse Holo. Says they pop a 44 and a 10, 130 and a 9. Last sold raw, 19, 27. We got a PSA 9 at 100, 108, and a 10 at $399. So just imagine that a $400 PSA 10 SIR slab would be, you know, a pretty solid new modern card. But you can get an old school Squirtle where there's only 43 other people on the planet that can have this card in a 10, compared to 20,000 other people having the same SIR as you. So that's why I love to pick stuff up like this. Next, we have the Squirtle Reverse Holo, also from Fire Red and Leaf Green. Got a really cool Reverse Holo on this one. So they pop a 61 and a 10, 175 and a 9. Last sold raw, 40, 28. PSA 9 at 190. Another raw one here at 50. And we do have a PSA 10 sale here at $2,025. The sale before that, which was 4 months earlier, was for $1,095. And both of those sales were in 2025. Next, we have the Ditto Squirtle. There is 2 different Ditto Squirtles, if you guys did not know. They both look pretty similar, just different angles, kind of. So this is number 64. This is a pop of 60 and a 10, 112 and a 9. Last sold raw, 42, 85, 54, 73. And we do have a PSA 10 sale here at $530. It was $399 before that, a month prior. Next, we have the other Ditto Squirtle. This is number 40. It says a pop of 65 and a 10, 124 and a 9. Last sold raw, 99, 65, 135. PSA 9 at $320. And we got a PSA 10 sale here at $1,460. Sold for $1,900 before that. That was in late 2025. Next, we have the Team Magma versus Team Aqua Squirtle e-reader. Love this thing. Such a beautiful background. No info in a PSA 10 for this card, like, at all. Raw, we got 35, 47. We got a PSA 9 here at 150, 132. We got a couple 8s at like 100 and 150. And like I said, no PSA 10 info on this card. Next, we have the e-reader Squirtle from Expedition. Love this one. I like the claymation stuff. I think it would actually be a really cool collection if someone went and collected every single of these clay cards. I think that'd look really, really nice in a binder. So this is a pop of 13 and a 10, 62 and a 9. That sold raw 50. We got one at 140, 95, 90, 99, 70. And we do have a PSA 10 sale here at $1,525. Next, we have another e-reader Squirtle card. This is also from Expedition. Beautiful reverse holo. Not a ton of info or recent sales in a PSA 10, but it does have a pop of 17 with the last sale at $450 on eBay. I'm sure it would sell a lot more than that now, probably $1,500 or something. Last sold raw 75, 55, 80. We got a PSA 9 at 199, 155. Next, we have the Team Rocket First Edition Squirtle. Remember, there is an unlimited. I didn't add it, but there is one, much cheaper. It says a pop of 1,600 in a 10, 3,300 in a 9. So actually pretty tough to grade. Last sold raw 11, 9, 6. We got a PSA 10 at $180, and before that, $150. Even buying these cards, I love buying these, even though it is just a common. But you got to think it's one of the first Squirtle cards we've ever gotten. It's actually pretty tough to grade, pretty low pop, only 1,600 other people in the world. And we're talking, $175 for this card. Next, now this is the original base set Squirtle art, but of course we got a lot of reprints. And this is the best reprint we got. This is the Legendary Collection Reverse Holo. People always ask me why these cards are worth so much. So when you actually open up Legendary Collection, every single pack comes with one Reverse Holo. And you can get every single card in the entire set in that Reverse Holo. So if you actually think about how hard it would be to get every single one of these cards in Reverse Holo by pulling it, it's actually insane. And it's a big set. It's not a small set. It's definitely one of the biggest vintage sets we have. So they are very, very expensive. Last sold raw, $450, $299, $211, $250, $300. You can find this card in the hundreds, but it's not going to be clean really at all. And pop of 51 in a 10, 231 in a 9. And last sold in a PSA 10 now is $4,500. It was $47 before that, and $2,500 before that. Next, we have the base set 2 Squirtle. So they pop of 539 in a 10, 819 in a 9. Last sold raw, literally $2-3. We got a PSA 10 sale at $275 and $190. Next, we have the unlimited base set Squirtle. Says they pop of 2100 in a 10, 4300 in a 9. Last sold in a 10, $299. Last sold in a 9, $47. And it's like a $3, $4, $5 card. Next, we have the Shadowless Squirtle, much lower pop, 725 in a 10, 1800 in a 9. Last sold raw, 650, 11, 7, PSA 9 at 144 and 125. And we have a PSA 10, jumps all the way up to $875. Next, the Grail, the first edition Shadowless base set Squirtle. This is a pop of 949 in a 10, 2000 in a 9. As you can see, almost every Shadowless card actually has a lower pop than some of the first editions. I could see someday down the road, some of these Shadowless cards actually catching up to their first edition counterparts just because they are so tough to find clean, and they're actually a little bit rarer to find in a 10 than the first editions. But the first edition is worth so much more. And to find this card raw in like actually clean condition, now it's going to be close to $100. And we got a PSA 9 sale at $430, $250, $481, and the last PSA 10 sale is $4,000. It was $3,000 before that, $3,800 before that. It's kind of all over the place. But all right, that is it for English. We're going to jump to some Japanese exclusives. So here is the Squirtle from the Squirtle deck. Just had a PSA 10 sale here at $425 or best offer accepted. Probably sold for like 300-ish bucks. Super cool card. We got a CGC 9.5 at $175. We got a raw one here. It says near mint at $70. Another 10 at $350. Another one at $350. So a pretty cool, unique Squirtle. I actually just sold one of these in like a PSA 9, I want to say, when I was vending not too long ago. And we got another similar Squirtle card. This is from the red and green gift set. I like this one a lot more. I just love the art and the pose. Him laying on his belly, just checking some stuff out. We do have a PSA 10 sale here that was on auction from ZNG for $1,025. And we got a raw sale here at $18.50. Next, we have the DBT P promo. I think this is a PokePark promo. Last sold, raw 95, 90, 100. PSA 10 at $1,100. And we got a PSA 9 at $350. This is a card you just never even see. But I mean, for $100, not terrible raw. Next, the original McDonald's Pokemon cards. I love these Japanese exclusives. I think they blow anything that we get from McDonald's out of the water now for English. It says they pop up 1,100 in a 10, 1,000 in a 9. Last sold in a 10, 49.50, 4,700, 45, so it's still going up. We got a PSA 9 at 1876, 1825. We're going to check the all-time. So, I mean, just look at that. From December 2024, it went from $600 and just went crazy. And now it's $4,500. And last on the list, we also added this in the Charmander video because there is a Squirtle, Charmander, and Bulbasaur in this card. It's the 20th anniversary XY Festa. And I'll also add this card when we check out Bulbasaur. One of the best cards we've ever gotten in Pokemon history. 1,230 in a 10, 172 in a 9. Last sold in a 10. Get ready. $35,497. Before that, $22,200. Crazy. Raw, 55, 62. Another one at 5, another one at 33. Not a ton of raw sales. Pretty much everybody gets this card graded because, you know, you do not want to miss out on a chance of it hitting a 10 because they're actually really easy to grade. Like I said, 1,200 in a 10, 172 in a 9. So very, very easy. But all right, that was this week's Throwback Thursday. If you guys like this content and you guys like Squirtle, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a like and comment. If you guys want to support more, you guys can check out my Instagram, my TikTok, my Facebook, YouTube membership. Mrs. PokeBeard just started a TikTok. If you guys can go give her a follow, I'd really appreciate that. But all right, I want you guys to have a great day. And if you guys want to watch my last Pokemon What If Wednesday, which was an absolute banger, click this video here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.